Dude, this tastes amazing.
I say as I munch on my co-worker's special beef jerky. It tasted delicious, just the right amount of kick to liven up my taste buds. Chris was bragging all day yesterday how he's going to make the best beef jerky we ever tasted. Honestly, he lived up to this claim.
You gotta show me how to make this stuff. I want to make whole batches of it myself. Where do you get the meat?
I asked.
Oh, you know the hobos and runaways from Boston Common. They don't fight back as hard, Jay.
We laughed, knowing he was joking.
You're crazy, man. But honestly, where do you get this meat?
I questioned. He pulls out an ebony black card with a simple silver phone number.
Call up this number and you can request any meat you want and any seasoning you want. All you gotta do is pay him $100 for each delivery.
I winced at the price. $100 seemed a bit pricey for some meat, but it tasted amazing, so it must have been worth it. I took the card and placed it in my back pocket. Lunchtime came around and I was excited to call up the number. I didn't care how long it took to get to my house. That meat was addicting. Pulling out my phone, I punched in the number. Only after 2 rings, a man with the roughest voice I have ever heard answered. It was like sandpaper rubbing against the sidewalk.
Pickup or delivery?
He asks.
Delivery?
Type of meat: beef, chicken, turkey, game, or special?
He responded. Since it was my first time, I decided to go for the one I knew.
Beef, please.
Spices: we have sweet, salty, and spicy.
Well, it didn't seem like he had much variety.
Sweet, please.
Cooked or uncooked?
Cooked, please.
Order will come by your house at 8 p.m. You will have 30 seconds to retrieve your order. If you do not come to retrieve your order within the given time, you will have your number blocked and you will owe us double amount. $100 for this order. I advise you to be alone.
He hangs up the phone. I placed my phone into my front pocket, heading to my car to grab some lunch. I step out to the parking lot, enjoying the warm air of the city. With all this cold weather, the northeast has been having this was a good break from winter's icy grip. I look over to my car, unlocking with my remote. I notice one of my good friends, Cameron, leaning against my passenger side door. He was chewing on the last bit of beef jerky he got from Chris. Lucky. My mouth was already drooling just thinking of having one more bite.
What are you doing here, Cam?
I asked, watching him chew the last of the jerky and swallow the wad of meat.
Sorry, Jay. I was hoping we could go to the gas station today for lunch.
I sigh with frustration. That's Cameron, always using me for rides. But today, I wasn't feeling irritated. My beef jerky was coming in and I could order any time I want.
Sure, man. Just get in. And please, for the love of good God, don't play your crap music again.
He smiles as we hop into my car and headed to the station.
That jerky was amazing, eh?
Cameron has been a good friend to me since middle school. We go way back to have him work with me with a blessing but also a curse. We all have those friends that we can handle in small doses. If you don't think you have those friends, you probably are that friend. Sorry to say. He was pleasant company nonetheless.
Yeah, it was. Actually, Chris gave me a card to call up the place where he got his jerky from. They're coming tonight to give me some.
I pulled the card out of my pants pocket, handing it to him. He looked like I just gave him a pure block of gold into his hand.
That's amazing. I gotta call them up sometime.
He pulls out his phone, storing the number into his contacts, handing the phone back to me. We park at the station parking lot. I open my door, letting the car run.
I'll be there in a few minutes. I just gotta make a call.
The confident look on his face showed me he was going to call up our mystery jerky benefactor. I smiled back at him, shutting the door and walking inside the store. A million times I've walked into this store and I still have to decide on what to eat. It took me 5 minutes to settle on a bag of hot fries and a brisk iced tea. I wasn't feeling too hungry after stuffing my face with those dried beef strips not too long ago. I walked back to my car, opening the door to sit inside, hearing the tail end of my friend's conversation and hanging up the phone.
So, what'd you get?
I asked.
The special.
He responds with excitement.
Really? Did he explain what's in that?
No. But that it was $300.
I almost choked on my drink, spitting it out all over my steering wheel.
300? Do you even have money to drop like that?
He nodded, which was a surprise. Recently he found an apartment and got a car. With all that, I can imagine that he would be saving every dollar that he could.
And it would take 2 days to arrive.
He sighs.
Will you let me have some of yours tomorrow?
Yeah, man. If I don't eat it all first.
I say with a smug look. He punches my arm, fearing that I would do it.
Don't be such a dick.
He laughs.
I'll ask Chris about it. He told me it was his favorite.
Later on, I stumble home after a long day of tedious work. Just when I think that my job gets easier, my tyrant of a boss piles on more work. Living the dream, I guess. I looked around expecting some to be in the living room or the kitchen, but I arrived to an empty home. There was a note on the dining room table. Gone for a couple of days, visiting Aunt Emma in the hospital. Aunt Emma. She was my mother's sister, who was knocked off this past year. She must have delivered today. That's fine by me. No one to bother me and no one to share my jerky with. I crumpled the piece of paper and threw it in the trash. After napping and showering after a long day, I looked at my phone to determine the time. It was already 7:55. Only 5 more minutes before I can have my snacks. But it dawned on me though, I never actually gave them my address. I remember what I wanted, but he hung up before I could give him my address. This put me in a type of panic. I didn't want to owe $200 over a misunderstanding. There was nothing I could do but hope they somehow knew where I lived. I jumped out of my chair and I ran over to my door with a wad of 20s in my hand. Opening my door, I stand inches by a giant. This guy was huge. The trench coat could barely contain his muscular frame, and his grey fedora was shadowing the majority of his face. This guy is someone I would not dare to be late for. He made Donkey Kong seem like nothing.
Money?
A gruff voice escaped from his behemoth.
Huh? Oh yeah, right.
I extended my hand carrying the money. He pulls his hand out his coat pocket, opening his fist. That amazed me. His hand looked like it could just crush my head without even trying. Definitively someone I didn't want to mess with. I placed the 20s on the palm of his hand. His hand was rough as the side of an oak tree. I don't know what this guy eats, but he must have a huge food bill. He pulled out in his other hand a sandwich baggie stuffed to the seams with delicious jerky. My mouth was like a faucet with broken lever. I must have looked like a wild dog to that delivery guy. I grabbed the bag and thanked him. He only gave a grunt to acknowledge my gratitude. He turned to walk away until his cell phone buzzed in his pocket, stopping his tracks. He pulled the phone out of his pocket, a Samsung phone. Even that seemed to be a toy size compared to his massive hands. Did I do something wrong? Was the meat the wrong one delivered? It couldn't be. I opened the bag and the smell enveloped my nostrils. God, it smelled heavenly. I slipped my hand into the bag, grabbing the biggest chunk I could find. A piece the size of an average palm was in my fingertips. I closed my eyes to take a bite, only to get interrupted by the tang again.
I'm sorry.
He says before swinging his massive right fist across my jaw. Slammed into the side of my door frame, pieces of jerky scattered everywhere. I looked up in haze, feeling the warm, thick river of blood trickle down my nose and mouth. The metallic taste filling my mouth and something hard sloshing around inside. Was it a tooth? It felt like it. The base of a man kept hitting me over and over. My chest ached and burned as ribs began to shatter from the bombardment. Each hit stronger than the last. What did I do to deserve this? I paid him. It was supposed to be a simple transaction. My vision begins to darken. I don't even hear the outside world anymore, just the thunderous blows I'm receiving. Maybe I'm dying. I fade in and out of consciousness first, with seeing my attacker dragging me by my foot to a vehicle. It looked like a van, but I couldn't really make it out on account of my vision being completely fuzzy and blood drugs covering my vision. I felt the bumps of the road on smooth asphalt, the sprays of turns, and a couple hard stops. My body felt like it was on fire. I looked down to see my legs contorted from the knees. Damn bastard broke my legs. And now where is he taking me? Darkness encroached the borders of my vision again. My ankles feel tightened for some reason, and I hear chains being pulled. Legs slowly elevated until I am dangling a few feet above the ground. The room is bright, opening my eyes, slowly adjusting to the light. I see two men with lab coats mumbling to each other. Something about good enough the room was cold and drafty. I looked at my captors.
Hello? Please, I need to get to a hospital.
They look at me shocked that I was asking questions. I don't think that I was meant to survive my beating. The smell of spices and burnt meat hits my nose. I look to my left to see hunks of meat on various tables. Chicken, beef, game, turkey and special. The special is what caught my eye because on that empty, bloody table, I could see a diagram of a human body, showing the best cuts on a person. My last memory was seeing one of the lab coats scolding the delivery monster and the other one grabbing a gun out of his coat pocket aiming it at my head. Days later, Cameron walks in with his sandwich bag full of jerky labelled in big letters, special. He munches on the pieces walking into his job at 7 AM. He waves hi to his fellow co-workers, but hasn't heard from his best friend in days. Phone calls go straight to voicemail and texts go unanswered. He bumps into his friend Chris as he turns the corner to his workstation.
Jeez. Sorry, Chris. But hey, I got my batch of jerky. 3 whole bags. I'm set for life.
He exclaims.
Aw man, that's awesome. Hey, where's your friend? Boss is getting awfully mad that he hasn't showed up to work in 2 days.
He states.
I don't know. I tried calling and texting, but nothing. Maybe he's sick. Too sick to call in. Anyway, I have to tell you, I met the scariest dude last night. He was huge. I thought he was going to eat me for a second. He gave me the jerky when I gave him the money. But he also gave me a note too, saying, I'm sorry. What a weirdo. I bet he's sorry for scaring the crap out of me at 8 o'clock last night. I just want to know what makes this jerky so special. It tastes amazing. Jay would have loved it.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I just want to say a massive thank you to GhostPaw, ShadowClaw, CreepyChamp, Clown Smirk, and Scarystuff Ding for helping to narrate this story. They all make great content, and I will leave a link to each of their channels in the description below so that you can go check out their channels. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment below. All feedback, good or otherwise, is always appreciated. If you have any creepy stories of your own, or have any topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to send them in via any of my social media. You can find all links to my social media in the description below. Until next time guys, make sure you lock your doors, stay safe, and I'll see you next video.